The American Way. An Apocalyptic Fairy Tale. By Chucky H. Sanson. A Playtrait recording of the forthcoming novel. Level 4. Manifest Dysentery. The stench clawed at her lungs like a raccoon in a flaming porta-potty. Kitten flew through the sky on the geyser of poo, looking down at the ruined world like God would if he were real. The foul blast carried the girl and her vacuum friend higher and higher, until she was level with the clouds. From her vantage, she could see the chocolate twister below laying waste to everything she had ever known with the power of 1,000,000 gas station toilets. As she arced across the sky, she felt as though she were being embraced, like a baby hugged to death by a love-blind grandma. Up here, Super Earth's problems shrank. Up here, she was away from Daddy Wardick's and Bitchsicle, away from the Freedom Savages, away from the inside. It made her happy. Well, almost happy. Being so high in the sky made things clearer. Up above it all, she could tell she wasn't supposed to be happy. Tickle toys like her didn't get to be. It just wasn't in the cards. At least you can't worry when you're smashed to gristle, she told herself, flying through the toilet-swirling atmosphere. Happiness was an expired coupon, a dream printed on toilet paper, the kind that dissolved the second you discarded it. For a moment, she thought she could see the edges of happiness. But she was wrong. Kitten relaxed on her trajectory towards the ground, waiting to see what would happen when she hit. Then she remembered the weight inside her, the tiny thing that didn't even have a name yet. She touched her belly like it was both a secret and a sentence. Guess what I want doesn't matter anymore. Turning its wheels as if clawing the air, the Roomba drifted toward Kitten, its red light flashing as if to say, "You matter to me." It didn't know fear. It didn't know love either. It couldn't. But something about the way it floated toward her, almost defying gravity, made her believe it could. Kitten looked down and watched as Bitchsicle, Daddy Wardick's, and all the other girls in the Giggles stable were biblically plunged into trillions of gallons of filth, as if the whole world had been flushed away forever. So far from the earth, pain and sadness felt optional, distant, like the grief belonged to someone else. It was as if she didn't care, callously watching things die in excrement like Satan if he were real. Suddenly, the diarrhea died. Tens of years and thousands of gallons of deposits were somehow depleted. The poop well had run dry, and so Kitten and Roomba began to fall. Gravity yanked them down. The ground surged up. She closed her eyes, accepting the cruelty of all life. A shitty slow-motion arc, followed by a sudden stop at the end. The ground stretched upward like a jaw lined with mountain teeth. She clutched her full belly and said the prayer of the glass radio, as if gravity cared. On the distant hill, the man in the cowboy hat watches the brothel blow to high heaven. Guns, crazed sex monsters, hookers, and septic tank explosions. It was a true-to-form throwback 20th century 4th of July. The failing brown tempest was a literal turd poking the sky like a middle finger to heaven, or God, or the president, or whoever. The man in the hat didn't smile. He hadn't in years. Smiling was for someone who still gave a motherfuck. Instead, he watched the heavens squeeze out a final political metaphor, and waited for the splash. End of Level 3. Okay, everyone, thanks for kicking ass through the American way. Remember, this was just a taste. If you made it this far, you probably already know, this story isn't safe. It's not sanitized for platforms. It's too raw for Substack, too volatile for Royal Road, too true for Medium. But it's real. And it's only just begun.